Okay, this is Liberty Mark 222. I've made a video in quite a while, but I listened to this brother John F. He had a report on the Silver Institute, which I thought was very insightful, very important actually as far as what's going on in the silver market. Now, I was in Mesa Verde about 2 months ago, and the price of silver was right around 24, something like that, 25. And I was saying how it was going to bump up against 26 and maybe go there 2 or 3 times and then get driven down to 18. Well, right now we're at under $20, and it looks like there's a chance that silver could go to 18 again. So I was trying to remember what made me think that silver was going to go down like that. I mean, it's obvious that the central banks, they want to keep the price of silver and gold down in order to keep the currencies, the dollar, actually all the currencies of the world solvent. Because if people start buying other currencies, then the dollar would be in big trouble. One example that's happened lately is Bitcoin, which just about a month ago it was only about $100. Now it was over 12.45 or something like that, 12.41. It was actually more expensive than an ounce of gold for like a little while during the day. Now, how could a virtual currency, which is backed by nothing, be worth more than an actual ounce of gold? It's pretty amazing, actually. I mean, the value of Bitcoin, as far as I can tell, is you can transfer money out of your country, and trying to get gold out of a country can be really difficult. They have a lot of capital controls. Now you could like drive across the border, like Mexico or Canada, and you're still going to have problems as far as like if you have any sizable amount of gold or silver on you, there's a chance they could confiscate that money. Whereas Bitcoin, if there's a Bitcoin in that country, if they're using it, then you can transfer those funds. I was thinking about buying Bitcoin, but they don't have Bitcoin set up in Turkey yet, so it didn't really work for me. But I guess if I'd bought some a couple months ago, it would have really been good. I had a lot of difficulty through Mt. Gox. I don't know why it didn't approve me. I was going to buy some, I guess, but I didn't qualify or something. I don't know what the deal is. You can buy individual coins too from people. They got it posted, but I didn't really want to drive down to Arvada or wherever. It just seemed like kind of a weird transaction, Anyway, so just getting back to Brother John F. And that was funny. There was a Christmas tree somebody decorated on the side of the road. So he was saying how he was examining this Coeur mining. It was Coeur d'Alene, so it must be up in Idaho, which is one of the biggest mining areas in the country. Anyway, what was really amazing was that the market cap of this Coeur mining right now is $1 billion. It's about $10 a share. And about 10 years ago, it was about $30 a share. So it's kind of amazing that now I could understand actually the last couple of years that that they would have not done so good. But from about 2008 to about 2011, when the price of silver went up to $50 an ounce, basically over a 10-year period, it went from about $5 an ounce to $50 an ounce, and they should have had just monstrous profits. Because what Brother John F. was saying was that, like back in 1980, I guess it's 1990, okay? 1990, when the price of silver was $5 an ounce, the price of their stock was about $250. It was 10 times, it was about $25 billion, right? 25 times what it is now. And they're mining at $5 an ounce. Now, you got the price of silver 4 times as much now even. And the stock has gone, it's just plunged. It's only 4% of what it was. 4%. I mean, that's just pretty shocking. And he was also showing how, like the base metal, like lead, zinc, and copper, they were at, their storage rates were at all-time highs. And he was saying a lot of these mines, they weren't mining the copper and the zinc and lead to make a profit. They were mining it just for the silver content to keep the COMEX going, which I could believe that. I could actually understand that. So you got mines that are selling their silver basically at dirt cheap. I don't know how much they're selling it for. They probably bought or probably sold it like $6 an ounce, and they probably got these derivatives or whatever, sell it for $6 an ounce for like the last 10 years, and whoever's getting this silver's, you know, making an instant profit of, you know, whatever. Let's say it's $40. They're making $30, $40 an ounce because the price of silver went up so much. And so this mine probably has to mine it just because of these contracts that they had, which is just driving them into the ground, because probably the cost of their mining went up to about $20 an ounce. So I don't know how long their contracts are or whatever, but they just totally missed the boat and are probably bankrupt practically, you know. So these derivatives really blew them out of the water, you know. But I could understand it. I mean, if you got the price of silver at $5 and for a long time, if you get a contract for $6 or $7, you're probably thinking, oh wow, good job. Or $10 even, who knows. And so I'm just saying, it's probably not as simple as John F. was saying. There's a lot of details that you probably have to know about that mine to know how things went there. But it sure wasn't profitable for the mine. The mines are not doing good at all there. And definitely not what they could have done, you know. And or if they're just selling it just to keep the doors open, or I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of factors going on as far as the mine is concerned. And so the first thing I was talking about was my prediction as far as like driving the price down to 18. The second thing I was talking about this Silver Institute and how the price of silver, how they're adding supply with the base metals and the different silver mines at much lower cost than they should be, probably. But at some point that's going to stop, you know. And the third point I think is also important is these IRAs. You got like I made a video called the Dreader Divergence Explained, and what I'm containing is that these bullion dealers or the people that are holding the silver eagles and the gold eagles for people for their retirement, actually what they're doing, unless it's a designated account, and even then they might not even keep it either, is that they're just selling that gold and that silver into the market, and they're investing that money into like the stock market. And so they're just like the banks. The people that have the retirement accounts, they think that they're putting their gold and their silver in these banks, and they're getting charged storage fees for it also, for something that probably isn't even there. And so that is definitely depressing the price of the market, you know. I looked at some of the prospectuses of these bullion dealers, bullion holders for the gold IRAs, and it says, I found one of them that says that the gold or the silver is fungible, which means they could buy any gold, similar gold. Let's say the person bought a 1990 Eagle, right? And so the bullion dealer sells it, and the person wants to redeem their gold, and then they just go out and buy a 2013, right? So they don't have to have, it's just like a bank, right? They might only have to have like 10% of their gold or silver, but the rest of it they're selling into the market, and they're buying derivatives and stock market and everything else, and that's causing the price to go down. And you got this huge amount of people that are buying silver right now and gold, and that's helping depress the price of gold and silver, because they're just taking that gold and that silver that's bought, and they're taking it and they're selling it right into the market. And people are like, where's all this gold and silver going? They're thinking that it's going to these bullion dealers. It's not. It's going into the market, and a lot of it's getting shipped right out to China or India. So when the game's up, when the musical chairs music is up, there's going to be a lot of people. They're going to want their bullion, and these bullion banks will just settle for cash. They'll just say, they probably have some stipulation that says, we don't have to even pay you in gold or silver, we're just paying cash. So they don't even have to have the gold or the silver. So they've just probably been buying the ETFs on GLD and SLV. So, and they're way cheaper. I mean, you could buy, like the spot silver is $2 over the fixed rate, the New York fix. So if I was if I was a bullion dealer, that's what I would do. I would just, you made a $2 spread right there. You sell the physical gold or the silver. Let's say the silver, because I know about that. You sell it into the market, and then you buy an ETF. You just made a $2 spread right there. So this is what I believe is happening in the market. It's keeping the prices down. But you can't do this forever. At some point, when there's not enough supply, people are just going to say, okay, I want my gold, my physical gold. I don't want an ETF. I don't want something in the bank. I want to hold it myself. And that's when things are going to get really interesting. And I was listening to at SGT report. Sean had the Silver Doctor, and also this Turd Ferguson. And they were saying how, Turd Ferguson was saying that he thought that this month that it could be up, that the whole bullion thing could be up, and in December here. So he's kind of sticking his neck out a little bit, which you could tell he didn't really want to, but he was pretty confident something was happening with the COMEX. So I guess with all this stuff going on with China saying they're not going to take US dollars anymore, they're not going to buy any more debt. There's some big things going on right now in the world, and who was saying, they're saying that there's going to be a global reset, and I could see it happening this month. And all these things that are happening with silver, most people, if you didn't know what's going on in these bullion markets, you would have no idea what's going on. You just see all these people buying stocks and saying, wow, this is just great. They had a special on 60 Minutes with Jeff Bezos with Amazon.com. Well, I heard Amazon.com, the price to earnings is like 300 or some outrageous amount. I mean, they're not even paying any earnings at all, any dividends. He said right then, they're just reinvesting the money to get market share, and that they don't even care about making a profit. They're just getting as low as possible. Well, if I was a stockholder, I'd be kind of pissed about that. I'd be like, wait a minute, I want some dividends here. I don't want you just pumping up the stock. I mean, it just starts getting insane, And there's a whole bunch of other stocks that are just insanely high as far as price to earnings. And I think people are going to demand dividends here pretty soon. I mean, you got Priceline just doing crazy things, crazy amounts. I mean, even Apple stock is just went bananas. Just, isn't that funny? Apple stock went bananas. Anyway, I'm gonna let this go. I think this has been a little bit long. This is Liberty Mark 222. Thanks.